You hear about them parties? Nah, that wasn't for me. No, sir.
Like songs, man.
What's that? That's Mall King?
Niggas feeling marvelous. You heard, though?
You gotta get the shoes, though. Y'all know what it is.
Beanie Sigel was the shit.
Yeah, he was fire.
And they would only let Beanie Sigel only sell so many records. This came from an executive. But Beanie, they would you couldn't be bigger than JayZ on JayZ's label.
The accuser, identified only as Jane Doe, alleges that rapper JayZ, along with Diddy, indecently assaulted her at a New York house party in the year 2000 following the MTV Video Music Awards.
Holmes attended the award show with his then girlfriend, Jennifer Lopez.
I mean, Mr. Carter has nothing to do with Mr. Combs' case or Mr. Combs. They knew each other professionally for a number of years, just like in all professions. People know each other. At the music awards, they support each other. If you go to the NBA All-Star game, they support each other. That's just how professions work. There is no closer association between any of them. That's also a matter of fiction. That's all that there is. He doesn't know anything about the charges or allegations against him. He has nothing to do with that case. And there's nothing more to say.
There's been serious chatter swirling that Diddy might actually be staring down life behind bars. But here's where it gets even messier. Word on the street is he's trying to strike a deal with the Fed. And it's not just any deal. People close to the situation are saying he's ready to name names to save himself, and not just random folks either. We're talking big-time players. Allegedly, one of the names he's throwing out, none other than his so-called brother, JayZ.
Right now I'm facing weapons violations, attempted murder. They try and get a boy 20 to 40 years. They came to me with a deal. Their deal was 18 to 36 years. Of course, I turned it down. Thought this was America, people. Guilty until proven innocent, huh?
And now, out of nowhere, Beanie Sigel jumps in with some wild claims of his own. He's warning Jay to get gone while he still can. Beanie's hinting that Diddy's got receipts that date all the way back to the 90s. And whatever went down between them back then, it's apparently way darker than anyone imagined. He's basically saying there's a whole hidden chapter to Jay and Diddy's bond that's about to blow up. So now the big question is, wait, what exactly does Beanie know about their past that's got him sounding the alarm? And is Diddy really about to crack and start snitching on everybody? Let's break it down, because things are getting real ugly behind the scenes.
You got me. So at that time, when, I'm going to court, and we about to be on tour. We on tour. So
A whole nother tour.
Yeah, we on a whole nother tour. So, I'm going for my bail hearing in the feds. And the judge asked Jay, everybody's saying all these good things and all that. The character witnesses, Dame, and everybody's saying, and even Jay said a whole lot of good things about me, and the judge was gonna let me go. Monitor. And she said, would you be willing, and that's the part that people don't, would you be willing to be responsible for his whereabouts, not be responsible for my actions, just his whereabouts? Would you be willing to do that? Provide us with all the information, saying that he's going to be here, there. And after all that good, he said no. But it was like the way he said it. And he put his head down, he was like, no, I've never been crushed like that ever in my life. Cause I'm like, damn, this is my man, and I looked at it like, all right, no. What if I had to get the out of there? I'm in jail, I'm stood tall, but what if I really needed to go? This was going in my mind.
Like, get out of jail, you say?
Bro, I had attempted in the state and the federal government and all this shit. The 40 years is over. This is what I'm facing, 40 years.
Right.
What if in my mind, I'm thinking like, damn, what if I really needed to roll? Be on a run and go. I'm from this my man and I love him. If he skipped that, I'm getting my man, I'm getting him out by any means necessary. So for me to look him in his eyes, and I'm sitting, I'm shackled around the wrist, ankles, and everything, and the man was like, oh. Like, that fucked me up. It took everything in me not to like let one go. Like, that took away a lot of that I thought that we had. Like, that's big bro.
All the buzz right now says Diddy might be ready to flip, and the pressure's clearly piling up. Sources close to him are whispering that he's facing major time, so we're talking life in prison. And even the most untouchable start sweating when it gets that serious. Word is Diddy ain't trying to be the only one going down. Allegedly, he's already laying out names, and not just background characters either. One of the first on that list, JayZ. And don't act like this came out of nowhere. People forgot, but last year Diddy's own son Christian dropped a diss track called Pick a Side. In it, he threw shots at his dad's celeb buddies, warning them that if they didn't back Diddy publicly, there'd be a reckoning. So not only did JayZ stay silent while Diddy's world started crashing down, he doubled down and had his high-powered lawyer, Alex Spiro, put out a statement claiming Jay and Diddy were never even friends.
Okay, at 5 in the morning, caught a flat.
We caught a flat in Dame's van on the turnpike. We gotta wait for the spare to come.
We're running a little late. And I gotta get suited up, booted up. And you know, he is our brother, so we will be there to support him. Because it's a rock, we are a family.
That move, it set Diddy all the way off. Sources say he felt completely betrayed, and now he's ready to go nuclear to save himself, even if that means exposing JayZ's deepest, dirtiest secrets. This is exactly why Beanie Sigel's warning is hitting so hard right now. It ain't just random talk. It's coming from someone who knows how Jay moves when the heat's on. Beanie was ride or die for JayZ back in the Rockefeller days. He held it down in the studio and the streets. And let's be real, that loyalty came at a cost. When the feds came for Beanie, Jay turned ghost. No backup, no lifeline, just silence. Now look at the situation. Diddy's staring down a life sentence, and once again, Jay is nowhere in sight. Let's not forget, JayZ and Diddy go way back, all the way to the 90s. That means Diddy had front row seats to everything that went down in the shadows of Rockefeller and later Roc Nation. He saw it all. The sketchy deals, the street ties, the backdoor power plays, and most importantly, who got protected when the feds started snooping around.
Did Jay really call up them people? Just need to know to add them to the infested extermination list.
Listen, before I even got there to the building, you gotta understand this. It's all documented. This year's Powerhouse, Jay came last year. In the Philadelphia Daily News, the day after the Powerhouse, it had an article. And I didn't even go to the Powerhouse last year. It had an article in it. Inside sources say JayZ beefs up security and threat that retaliation from Beanie Sigel for dropping him from the label.
This was in the newspaper.
It's in the paper. It's public record. Go. It's $20. You can search it and find it. It's public record. That was last year. So when I'm reading, it's like, damn, what the, you know what I mean? Inside sources say.
Right.
Where that come from? I ain't never see the Powerhouse where they got boot cops walking around with K9s and all that shit. Go on the internet, Google it. Bernard Hopkins was there. I didn't even know Bernard was there.
Right.
Go to allhiphop.com. He confirms it.
So there you are, just like the song says.
Yeah, because what happened was, I stood right in and because they made sweeps. When I came in the building and people was going in the back and all that, where the dressing rooms was at, we was standing in the back, me and my peoples or whatever. Bleak come out with 5 bodyguards. What's up, C? No, what's going on? Damn, what's up? What you doing? Who back there, Jay? Come on, let's go back there. And you keep on moving the conversation. You don't want to go back there. Your bodyguard's there, and I don't got no, you know what I mean, the pass. He was like, man, you need to come holler at the big hunk. Man, dude, don't f with me. I ain't going back there. And that's what I told him. Big homie, don't f with me.
So if Diddy really starts talking, he might just blow the lid off how JayZ managed to stay squeaky clean. while letting dudes like Beanie Sigel take the heat. And that ain't just damaging, that would shatter JayZ's image for good and finally confirm everything Beanie's been screaming for years. Now let's break down Beanie's angle for real. Back in the early 2000s, Beanie wasn't just some side rapper under Roc-A-Fella, he was a key player. This man helped launch the whole movement, had his own fashion brand State Property, and even starred in movies. He wasn't tagging along, he was building the empire with Jay and Dame. But then things got real messy around 2004. Rockefeller started crumbling and a power war exploded between JayZ and Dame Dash. Behind the scenes, it was a full-on fight for control. And Beanie, he got caught right in the middle of it all. Beanie ended up right in the crossfire. He stayed loyal to both JayZ and Dame Dash, but once Jay locked in that Def Jam takeover deal, the shift was loud and clear.
Beanie Sigel is complaining a lot these days.
Well, he has a lot to complain about.
I know.
Not me.
Well, actually, this morning I just got a brand new interview. It's half an hour long, and he's talking basically about you, about the company, about basically how you didn't push him as much as, let's say, 50 Cent pushed some of his boys. How do you feel about that?
Well, Beanie Sigel at the time, and you can look it up if you like, but just to be honest, was driving 2 Bentleys. I don't know how. It's impossible to drive 2 cars at one time. With his mama in the sticks and selling 800,000 records, I don't know what more can you do for somebody, you know, at that point. What people choose to do when they attain that type of success, you know, at some point you have to look in the mirror and look at yourself. You know, Beanie Sigel had a record deal, a record label, and a clothing line. I mean, it never went platinum, ever. I don't know, in the history of rap, has anyone done so much with so little? So I don't even know what more can you do for a person at that point. A record label, a record deal, that's normal. A record label and a clothing line. So if that's not pushing the person, I mean,
Beanie got pushed out. 1 minute he was inside the circle, the next, ghosted like he never mattered. And that's when the betrayal started cutting deep. While all the Rockefeller drama was unfolding, Beanie caught some heavy federal charges, and guess who didn't show up? JayZ. No calls, no lawyers, no help, nothing. Beanie was left hanging, and that silence, it hit harder than the sentence. This is a man who helped build the whole dynasty, brick by brick. He gave the label street cred, hits, and culture. And when he needed support the most, Jay just disappeared. Beanie's spoken about it in interviews over the years, and he doesn't hold back. He felt abandoned, straight up cut off by someone he once called family. And now, watching Jay try to distance himself from Diddy too, it's like deja vu all over again. Meanwhile, Dame Dash was riding for Beanie the whole way through. He showed up at court, stood by him publicly, and made it clear, Beanie wasn't fighting this battle alone. That's loyalty, period.
Beans was getting ready. We thought he was gonna go to jail for a couple years. He was on trial. So I was trying to make 4 albums for him, or 5. I was more bothered when Beans chose to go with Jay. That one hurt. Because I'd done a lot and prepared. I chose State Property over Rockware. And I wanted to just roll out with State Property. But it almost like he tricked Beans to shelf him, and he fucked his life up to me doing that. But I had him, you know what I mean? Like, that was my new Jay.
But while Beanie was tangled up in serious legal heat, JayZ was out here focused on his own moves. He dropped the Black Album, put out a flashy retirement announcement, and then flipped it just months later like nothing ever happened. By 2005, the old Roc-A-Fella magic was fading fast. Jay had locked in the big seat at Def Jam while Dame and Biggs drifted into other lanes. But Beanie, he was stuck, caught in the middle with no lifeline. That same year, Beanie dropped his 3rd album, The Be Coming, and it hit hard. Most of it was recorded while he was fighting for his freedom. But even though the music was solid, it didn't get the push it deserved. And Jay? He wasn't lifting a finger to promote it. Over the years, Beanie's dropped plenty of clues that Jay was holding him back on purpose. He even said Jay blocked him from taking outside deals, keeping him tied to Roc-A-Fella, but never really helping him grow, just holding him in place and leaving him behind.
Dame actually came and got me when I got out of prison. And we was on a tour bus, and they was interviewing me. And they asked me then and there on a bus. Now I'm just getting out of prison. Like, he at the jail picked me up. And they posed that question that I was, you know, or made the statement that I was going to be with Dame Dash Music Group. And I said then that I didn't want to make that choice between Jay or them. I just wanted to stay neutral. I believe if we had those conversations, I believe I would have rolled with Dame. I'd have rocked with Dame. Yeah, if Dame set me down and he had a plan, regardless what the plan was, and mapped it out like this was going to do, the smartest decision at that time for me would have rolled with Dame, because Dame was more accessible than Jay was. Dame was in the office every day. You could talk to Dame. You know what I mean? Dame used to come and chill on the block in South Philly. You know what I mean? Dame pull up in Biggs at Mom Duke's spot. So, yeah, I think if we would have sat and he would have showed me and explained to me, you know, our business plan and what we was going to do, that would have been an easy decision.
Then in 2009, the tension exploded. Beanie dropped a scathing diss track called What You Talking About, aimed straight at JayZ, and he didn't sugarcoat anything. Beanie flat out called Jay fake, selfish, and accused him of using him for street clout, then tossing him aside once he wasn't useful anymore. And Jay's response? Cold and dismissive. He brushed the whole thing off like it was nothing, blaming Beanie and claiming he just wasn't taking responsibility for his own mess. No ownership, no apology, just distance. But now, years later, the tone is shifting. Beanie seems ready to admit he made mistakes, but the one that cuts the deepest? Trusting JayZ over Dame Dash. Dame recently popped up on The Art of Dialogue, and he did not hold back. He accused Jay of playing dirty, said Jay tricked Beanie, used him, then deliberately sidelined him and crushed his momentum. Dame made it clear. He saw Beanie as the next leader of Roc-A-Fella, the one who could carry the torch and keep the legacy alive. But instead of betting on Dame, Beanie stayed loyal to Jay, thinking Jay had his back. What Beanie didn't realize back then was that JayZ wasn't just walking away. He was allegedly pulling strings behind the scenes to make sure Beanie never made a real comeback. That's the cold part.
I don't think one man could destroy another man's life. It's ultimately in your own decisions. You know, I had a lot of issues. Like I said, legal issues at the time. And, you know, my mind wasn't where I'm at now today. Like, I used to have questions like why every time my album dropped, Jay would drop right on top of me. He wouldn't let me breathe, or right before me. Like, I was always close. And I never understood that every single album that I dropped, Jay dropped right on top of me. And it was like, damn, like to have in-house competition at that magnitude was crazy. Jay already the boss, but I always thought that, like, let me breathe.
And when Beanie finally spoke out, he even admitted it. He said he took Dame Dash for granted and now sees who really had his back. When it comes to Jay, Beanie didn't hold back. He said it felt like there were always secret plays going down, sneaky moves that stunted his growth. Like Jay dropping his own albums right around the same time as Beanie's, making sure the spotlight never fully landed on him. Beanie said Jay would even cap how many records he could push, like he was controlling the ceiling on his success. Yeah, Beanie admitted he made some mistakes, especially with the law, but let's be real, that doesn't excuse everything else. The way Jay handled him, that wasn't just business, that was intentional. And now, with the streets buzzing that Diddy's about to spill it all, fans are finally starting to piece things together. Jay's got a long history of falling silent when his people are down bad. And maybe, just maybe, that shady past is finally spinning back around on him. So what do you think? Is JayZ about to face the fallout from years of betrayal? And if Diddy really lets it all fly, how far down the rabbit hole does this go? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button, share with your crew, and don't forget to subscribe for more wild celeb breakdowns. See you in the next one.